Hello, welcome to the Urban Woman Tarot. I'm just going to make a few announcements while I clear the cards real quick. And I haven't been able to I haven't had the time to make a reading because I got a new job, and it's like I would say I'm 37, so this is like, I was born and raised in the kitchen, and I don't know, I never really thought about pursuing a job like as a chef. I mean, my grandmother, our home, like this house, was like the hub of family gatherings, and my grandmother could, for real, throw down on some food and always cooked enough for like armies of people. This house was literally like a party every Saturday. So, I mean, I had to, on the weekends especially, help her in the kitchen and learn. Although those people don't come to this house no longer because my grandma and my grandfather's passed, and so pretty much that whole side of the family my family has passed away too. So, but it's kind of like I started picking that up when I moved back here 5 years ago, doing what she would do, and it's so I have to. Thankfully, I had that teaching those years learning from her, because now I throw down like that. But it's like never anything that I thought about doing as a career. I did make as a business like bread one time for a few years, and that was great. I love doing that. But for some reason this year, I really took a long look, and it's probably because it's quarantine, a long look at, because I have three associate's degrees, and I was actually, like, I've been telling myself for a long time, I'm not going back to college. I've been to college twice, and in one of those times that I went to college, I obtained 2 associate's degrees at the same time. So I was like, I've been telling myself, like, that was a lot, and I'm not going back to school, like, I have enough. But I've never really been, I guess, grounded or founded in any of the careers that I've done, really, except for the bread baking. But anywho, I guess because it's quarantine, I had a reflecting moment because I did lose my job because of the quarantine, and I was just like, I really need to I'm 37, I need to do something that I really love and feel passionate about. And really the only thing that came to me was like being in the kitchen, cooking. So I went and got a job. Like, I got online, I started looking, I found a job that day, I got hired, I started the next Monday. And like, even this place, I love this place, and I love my job. But I guess because, the old has to fall away so the new can come. And I feel like the old has been having to crumble from my job so that the new could be founded, implemented, and like started with it. So I've been working a lot, and I haven't worked this much in a really long time. I never knew I could sweat in so many places as much as what I have. And I haven't really ever put this much effort maybe into my work before. Like, my boss told me one day that, he doesn't put women in the kitchen because they're not strong. And, he's old school. So he didn't come out and say that they were strong. He just said, this is a really hard job back here. So, women, we don't really expect women to work that hard. Boy, let me tell you, he was like, but you work hard. And he was like, I haven't seen a woman work as hard as you since he lived, because he's from a different country, like, in that part of the world. But anywho, It's a hard job, but I love it. I haven't ever put this much effort into working a job before, I'll tell you that much. So anywho, I've just been consumed with that, and then the moment that, you know, you work real hard for a few days, and then, whew, there's like 2 days a week that I've had to take, because I only get 1 day off a week. But, you know, like, I was on a roll waking up at 7 a.m., but then there's a few times where I've had to sleep in another hour or two. Well, another hour, because I've just been so exhausted. But anywho, I haven't been able to do readings because of that. But we have just implemented a new schedule, working schedule, and my hours have been all over the place. So I'm hoping now to, because this is definitely going to be one of my new moon wishes and intentions to set for this new moon cycle. So today is the new moon, and I'm going to do a reading, a Celtic cross spread from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins. And then I'm going to pull one card from the medicine cards just to see, because these medicine cards, I'm trying to tell y'all, Native American, my grandmother was Native American, and she and my aunt taught me a lot about life. And I'll tell you, one of the things they taught me, or told me, tried to show me, is like one of the reasons why I'm still single. Like, I'm not married. So, but anywho, regardless of that, these medicine cards I just love, because not only do they tell you everything that the animal means, but then they also tell you, like, what, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just phenomenal the way this can work into our lives and tell you how to look at something, how to change it, how to face it, how to maneuver through it, whatever. I've had this is probably one of my second card decks that I got, and it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love this deck of cards. So I'm going to pull one of these at the end for you, just so you can see what the energies are saying, or, I don't know, we'll just see what the card says. But, so this is for the new moon, and this is a new moon in Cancer. Let me also pull this up. So yes, we are, now this new moon, it's in Cancer, but as soon as it goes, it starts to wax in the next day or two, it will be in Leo. And Aries is also, Mars is also in Aries right now, so there's a lot of, also we have Chiron, the wounded healer. So there is a lot of, like, deep wounds that could be coming to the surface, that are needed to be dealt with and healed, because this is a time from now until January with Chiron in retrograde. It's a time of deep healing, and I mean, we've got, what, 6 months of it to do it. So with, like, all the fire, like the moon being in Cancer and then going into Leo, and then we've got Aries and Mars, there's a lot of fiery, passionate energy going on. And sometimes if you don't know how to maneuver with that energy, it can be unsettling. You know, it's like, I can't remember the exact word for it, but it's like you've got so much energy, but there's also, like, uneasiness about it, because if you don't know how to handle the energy, it can cause you to be uneasy. And if you're uneasy, you're slightly agitated, because your mind's like, go, 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 and you're kind of like, okay, but where do I go? I know I need to go, but where? What? Like, how and what do I do it? So there is, like, that kind of, like, tug of war, push and pull. You just have to stay, like, grounded and centered in yourself, and especially centered in, like, your views, your beliefs, because normally I would say, like, your God, your spirit, like, your consciousness, however you see spirit, God, your faith, like with your beliefs, you have to kind of like stay centered in that. You also have to really talk to yourself and work yourself through these things. You can't work through them if you don't talk yourself through them. You have to have that monologue, that conversation, because not only are you collectively, intuitively, that connection, not only you conversate, you're sending those questions out to spirit, to the universe, and you're also able to, because of your connection, when you talk to yourself, you're also able to receive the messages that come from, that's that Trinity, that soul, your connection. That's even like how they say our brains, the inside, like, well, okay, so our brains are very similar to space. It's that connection that we have to it. So even with like Mercury now is finally going, we should be out of like the shadow period of Mercury by like August 1st. That's still like 2 more weeks. And with that, you know, I've read that, and I teach this in my videos. So the thing with Mercury is all about communications. When Mercury's in retrograde, you are able to ask really deep. You can ask any question that you want, and you will receive the answer. And it's like instant. And a lot of that has to do with Mercury being retrograde. But because I think Mercury went direct a week ago, but we're somewhat still in the shadow process of it. So it's trying to station or get itself direct. So even like with this new moon, we still have an instant connection to be able to ask those questions and receive the answers. So if you have time, sit down and contemplate about what it is that you want, and whatever life challenges pop up, you know, if you can just stay mentally on top of yourself, and that takes practice. If you don't do that already, then, you know, practice makes perfect. Baby steps make big dreams come true. So practice that and work up to it. Stay on top of yourself. You and only you are your best cheerleader. So you've got to train yourself to be your best cheerleader. You've got to, like, and I'm going to tell you and you know, I was thinking too, like, there's a lot of times that people like get too hard and too critical on themselves, and sometimes that can be that can like spiral into a different direction. If you're one of those that, if you have like somewhat conquered your ego, then you're fine with this. But if you're one of those that, if you're in the awakening process, if you're learning about enlightenment, then I'll tell you that the number one thing that I recommend for enlightenment, for even embarking on a spiritual path, is to master your mind. You have to first overthrow your mind. You have to like have an ego death. You have to be able to transcend it. And for me, I think the best way to do that is like listening to Deepak Chopra. I talk about him a lot because he was like a gem that I fell upon that really gave me, it's like where I had a puzzle that wasn't complete, and I had pieces laying out to the side. I didn't know exactly where they went. He, like, just his perspective and his analogy on, like, his whole philosophy, I guess you can say. I was finally, like, at 28 years old with all these questions and no answers, was able to put these pieces together and see this puzzle and realize why I was where I was and the way I was. Like, he helps your brain to like shift and to like acclimate itself so that you can have that ego death. You can let go of everything that no longer serves you. You finally have peace with yourself and the world, because everything finally at one time makes sense. And then when that makes sense, then you know how to start from where you are and move forward in a completely different direction, a better direction. So that's one reason why I do recommend him a lot. But like I said, if you are past the ego death, then you are fine with not letting yourself get too spiraled down in a negative path when it comes to being your own cheerleader. But like I was saying, you do have to stay on top of yourself. And that is by being your best cheerleader. And you know, there's been times where I have been on top of myself so well that like my little gangster self will sometimes pop up and throw like some really deep seated, not bad hits, but like eye-opening hits where I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right, like I completely did that, and now I know why. So now I know how to change and how to move forward. And those changes always begin and end within us, never outside. So anywho, take what you will with that. Let's see what the cards have to say. So I'm going to try it, because I've talked too long, try to speed this up. Alright, Mermaids and Dolphins, I'm looking for 10 cards for a Celtic crossbred. And I think with Mars being in Aries, like I've noticed that I talk fast now. And I think it's because of that energy. Also, if you're interested in listening to Deepak, you can get the station on Pandora, Deepak Chopra. And so he has like his little meditations where he just speaks. So those are the ones that I listen to. I'll sit down and go listen to. Now outside of that, there's like music that's like rain showers with like those Japanese like rain bells. There's like birds. Like there's one where there's like dolphins and whales talking. That right there, that one to me is very powerful. My son even was like, wow, Mom, like those are like dolphins talking back and forth. So you know, it's like that. It's very healing to have that music playing in the background. So I put it on my speaker or just set my phone down and turn it on and let it play. But like I said, when he comes on, I do go listen to him. But he starts you out easy and then works you up into a deeper. I mean, and it took like the first set that I felt like I got through was probably about 6 or 8 months of listening to just the channel, because back then his meditations weren't on YouTube. Now they're on YouTube. If you want to forget the channel and just go straight to the meditations, then get on YouTube and pull up his little DVD albums or CD things, and they're in a mix, so they're through there. You can just, I would go through every one of them though. So there should be like 12 per CD, I think, or album, however you call that. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to start with the 3 cards at the bottom of the deck. And we have Mother Healing, Break Free, and Contemplation. So there is, you know, when I was talking about Chiron, there could be, because that's the wounded healer, there could be something to do with your mom that you aren't healed from, whether this is from your childhood, your recent past, or like right now. Like if you have a mom and you're arguing, or like when I was saying, like, I mean, my mom's passed away, but there's still like healing that I'm discovering on that level. Like just, I mean, periodically there's still stuff. So this could be something again about my mom and our relationship that is still needing healing. And it could also be going, whatever you heal within yourself, you also heal within, you know, on the outside. So it could be something that's still going on right now that maybe you weren't even aware of. But whatever this is, this healing that's going on, there is a need to break free from old stuff and try something new so that you can, because that freedom right there will allow you to grow and learn. There is also a need right now to spend time alone meditating upon what you truly desire. And that contemplation is a good time. Right now is the perfect time to be contemplating that because of the new moon, and then also that communication part. But there is a lot of magic around you. The thing that's challenging you at this point in time right now is that you're not dreaming big enough. You need to let go of small thoughts about yourself and see yourself really aspiring to more. Now, whatever's going on, you know, a lot of this has to do with friendship, because you need time to yourself. You need to take a break from something. What your cares and your worries, whatever your cares and worries are, you need to take a break from them and step back. Now, that could be, when it comes to your friendship, making a play date with a friend or one of more friends and doing stuff. I mean, I know our resources are kind of limited right now from what we can do. But if you could, you know, social distance around a fire pit, because that's what we've been doing. Yeah, so whatever you can do to like implement yourself within the times to spend times with friends, that will help to give you a break, and especially like a breather. In the past, you made some wishes in the past that I would say you've seen them start to either come through, or you've seen them like intensify. You've seen sparks. It really just depends on where you are in the process, because we're all at different points. Some of you received a wish, and it's like now with where you are, there could be something that's happened to where you maybe have lost a little bit of faith in it not coming through. It could be that things have happened that have challenged you, that have kind of worn you down or made you question. But at this time, you really need to have faith, because your prayers are manifesting. You just got to remain positive and be that cheerleader and stay upon yourself and follow your guidance. Because, and especially with this new moon, I feel with a new moon, it's almost like there's a 3-day kind of like wobble in there where it's like a void. And I mean, the moon does go void for 3 days. So, and if you are attuned to the moon, like if you are connected to the moon, then you feel this. And I feel like this time period really puts in a void so that we can somewhat look into the void and connect to it. The great mystery, as the Native Americans call it. Or it might be the great void, because I think they see Father Spirit as the great mystery. But they do believe that there's a great void out there. And it's like in that void is like blackness, darkness, the abyss. Like, and they mean it as in the fact that it's there, you know it's there, but you can't see. It's like a veil, like that veil of illusion. So if you go swimming in it, which you're allowed to swim through it and go there, you just have to be open to whatever happens there to you and how you come back. So we are in that time period where everything's kind of like a void. You may feel like you got your wishes, but maybe now they're, and you know, this happens with wishes. You have wishes, you'll get them, but then challenges pop up, and these challenges pop up for a reason, for you to grow and to learn from them. And when that happens, a lot of times we get hurt or discouraged. But if we could stay on top of ourselves and try to reacclimate ourselves to our desires, and a lot of times that happens too, so that you'll step back and tweak your desires, your wishes. And I think that we're in that tweaking period with this new moon and the energies. So, you know, take a step back, contemplate what it is that what you need, what you want, and then, like, with your wishes, if you've already gotten them, how you can change them and make them better. That mother healing card that popped up, when we work on healing things with relationships, we also see them heal within our desires or our wishes. So that could be why that's also coming up. But what we're moving into, and this could be around the full moon or the end of July to beginning of August, is waves of prosperity. So, I mean, this card here tells you new abundance and exciting opportunities wash over you. So wherever you are right now, just stay true and stay on the path. Do the work, because it's moving you into this prosperous time period. It was needed for a reason. Your advice is to practice morning affirmations. So say positive affirmations each morning to open the gates of manifestation. So, I mean, you know, she's embracing the sunlight. So if you can get up in the morning and go outside and embrace the sunlight, the day, I mean, there's a lot to be said about dawn, dusk, and dawn. Look into that. There's some very powerful manifestation tools if you know about the timing of dusk and dawn and what it does. Now, in your environment, there's a lot of things that need to be simplified. So eliminate clutter from your home and work life to balance the flow of activities. So there is going to be, or is now, a lot of things that's going on around you. They could be taking away too much of your attention to where you maybe have, I mean, and I'm the perfect example of this, because I have been working so much and then so tired that I haven't really, my room is somewhat clean, but it's not like the best. Like, I've got laundry over there that needs to be folded and put away, but I've just been working with it. You know, my floor needs to be vacuumed, but I will get there. Like, I still, the dishes that I washed the other day, because I don't have a dishwasher, like, I've got to put them back in the cabinets now. So, you know, I've neglected some things in my home just because I've been so focused on work. So this is why, this is telling you to simplify your life. So you need to get back. If you've been sucked into, like, the physical world full force, then you've got to at least not get back out of it full force, but you got to make room and time for the spiritual life and the spiritual sense to keep your spirit grounded and founded. Now, in your hopes and fears, you've got some, either you are hoping that you are making the right choice with what you're doing, or you are fearing that you may not make the right choice. And, you know, as long as, you know, this card says feeling stuck or indecisive, listen to your intuition and make a decision. You may feel like, you may have hopes and fears that you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do. And I'm, you know, you got like 3 days here to really think about that and figure that out. And I'm not saying like you have to figure it out, because I'm going to tell you, if you are working internally, mentally, too much to figure something out, you're working too hard. If you will just, like, take a step back, chill out a minute, the bare necessities of life will come to you. You can pull up Baloo from the Jungle Book, Bare Necessities, and listen to that song. Okay, that song is 100% like fact. If you are doing something too hard and working too hard, you're not doing it right. You know, it's like, take a step back and chill and just relax, because your relaxed energy will attract the answers. It'll bring them in. And then you'll know how to move forward. So, just remember, don't get too hard on yourself about trying to make a decision. And then we have as our outcome to wait. Do not rush into action right now. bide your time for better results. So, waiting. I'm just going to grab. There is something here that, and I'm going to walk around over here. There's something that, so my readings are like for the next 30 days. Now, when I have this new moon reading, this means like by the full moon, which, well, one of two things. It could either be when the full moon gets here, or when the moon cycle has completed itself, which would be like 27, 28 days from now, when the next new moon is here. So just be aware of that and try to keep in mind that, you know, this wait card is all about timing. So it could be that something within the next 15 to 30 days doesn't have the right time on it. So you need to wait a little bit before you proceed. And two, who's to say that this wait card isn't like COVID popping up with our governors or presidents saying we can't fully open yet, we're going to have to hold on another week or two. But anywho, it is what it is. You know, you do what you can. So, I'm looking for 3 cards for clarifiers. What messages? What messages do you have for this wait card? I am also thinking about changing my page. Bear with me, because once I've decided on that, which I've been thinking about it, I just haven't decided on it yet to move forward. I'll let you know when it happens. But, so just stay tuned. Ooh, alright. So, this is something to do around extreme happiness, okay? Extreme happiness. We have the Hermit here. So, the Hermit means that you've already gone within. Now, keep in mind, this is like the next 30 days from now, the end of this reading. So, whether you spend the next 30 days really going within and seeking the answers, you come out of hibernation ready to go. And then we have the 4 of Cups in reverse. So, it could be that you actually turn down an opportunity, which is why this card is telling you to wait. So, you could be having a really happy home life and everything's great, and then something comes out of the clouds, something comes out of the woodwork somewhere, and it could be the thing that really made you, I don't know if this is an offer that you've had before, that you've been thinking about it, and maybe it's something that's going to help create more happiness in your life. Whatever your values are around your home and your emotions, like that wish fulfillment. Because this is like, we've got 2 cup cards here. So this is all about emotional happiness and fulfillment. But there's something you're thinking about, whether you want it or not. So, and if you don't know whether you want the opportunity or not, just wait. Because like I said, at the end, 15 to 30 days from now may not be the right time. Not saying that the time won't come again, because this card's not saying that this thing isn't going to happen, and plus I didn't throw down like the death card or anything. So, not saying it's not going to happen. You just need to wait a little bit longer. Okay? So now, let's see what the Native Americans have to say. Alright, medicine cards. Looking for a 1 card message. What messages do you have for all viewers about this reading, this meeting? Wow. Yeah. And look, I was talking about, I knew that either, well, dolphin was going to come out, or swan when I start talking about that blackness, that void. But we have whale in contrary. And if I'm not mistaken, whale is whale is record keeper. So whale is very much like a swimming library. Whale carries the history of Mother Earth. Now that I said Mother Earth, that mother healing that I spoke of earlier in the reading, if that didn't resonate with you, then this is maybe that healing that's being called for is from Mother Earth, because a lot of you I know are light workers and empaths and earth angels. So it could be time, like with this Rona, it could be time to help Mother Earth heal and to ascend. So it could be that healing, okay? So whale is very much like a swimming library. Whale carries the history of Mother Earth and is said to have been placed here by the ancients from the dog star Sirius. Biologists say that whale is a mammal and very possibly lived on land millions of years ago. In tribal legend, my grandmother told me about this too. In tribal legend, whales move into the ocean happened when Earth shifted and Lemuria, the motherland, went below the waves. All of our petroglyphs speak of the motherland, Mu, and the disaster that brought the red race to North America from the west beyond the great waters. The symbols in the petroglyphs speak of the rivers and mountains crossed by our ancestors when they sought solid ground as the water receded. Whale saw the events that led to the settling of Turtle Island, which would be North America, and has kept the records and knowledge of the motherland alive. It is said that Mu will rise again when the fire comes from the sky and the lands in another ocean on Mother Earth. It is said that Mu will rise again when fire comes from the sky and lands in another ocean on Mother Earth. The native medicine people are waiting for this event as the next sign of Earth changes. Earth's children will have to unite and honor all ways and all races in order to survive. Whale medicine people are coded in their DNA to understand that sound frequencies can bring up records in the memories of ancient knowledge. They are usually clairaudient, or able to hear both very low and very high frequencies. They are usually also physically developed and fairly telepathic. Many times, however, they are not awakened to their gifts until it is time to use the stored records. Many whale medicine people are able to tap into the universal mind of Great Spirit and have no idea how or why they know what they know. Only later, when they receive confirmation, do they begin to understand how they know or why they received the impressions. Whale medicine teaches us to use the sounds and frequencies that balance our emotional bodies and heal our physical forms. To recall why the shaman's drum brings healing and peace is to align with whale's medicine. The drum is the universal heartbeat and aligns all beings heart to heart. Before the advent of speech and the primordial language, hand signs were used. Many tribes were silent most of the time. The language that was understood was the sounds of great spirits, other creatures, the animals. If you pulled the whale card, you are being asked to tap into these records and to allow yourself to be sung to those who have the original language. We are only creatures who do not have our own unique cry or call. Find yours. Allow your voice to use this sound to release tension and emotion. Whale signals a time of finding your origins, of seeing your overall destiny is coded in your DNA, and of finding the sounds that will release these records. You may never be the same again. After all, you are the melody of the universe, and the harmony is the song of the other creatures. And using your voice to open your memory, you are expressing your uniqueness and your personal sound. As you open to this uniqueness, the animals that are your 9 totems may then send their sounds or calls to you or through you. This will open your personal records so that you may further explore your soul's history and commune with Whale, who carries the history of us all. Now, this card is in contrary or reverse. If whale has beached itself in your cards, the contrary medicine implies that you are not following your sonar or homing device. On some level, you have forgotten that you hold all the answers you need to survive, to grow, and to claim the power of your chosen destiny. It may be that you are having to deal with a lot of chatter in your head and cannot get to your personal records. If so, you may need to use other sounds to enter the silence. The drum or rattle, the Indian flute, or sounds of nature may help. I think that's where that morning affirmations card's coming in. The call of whale is the lullaby of the tides. Rock yourself gently and float into the world of the sea. Flow with the waters of time and collect your answers. They are the only truth that will lead you to your personal pathway of knowing. Contrary whale is saying that you must desire to know. You must seek the whale song within you. In hearing whale's call, you will connect to the ancients on a cellular level. And then as you relax into the flow of the song's rhythm, you will begin to open your unique library of records. It may not come all at once. It may take practice. But if you hold the desire to know close to your heart, it will be whale's gift to you. Look to the great star nation and send gratitude to Sirius for the song of whale. Like the whole time I read that one paragraph, I was thinking of that song, Bare Necessities, with Baloo from the Jungle Book. Because, like, he literally walks down the embankment into the river, lays on his back, throws his arms behind his head, relaxes, and flows with the water. So, try that. Listen to that song. And, you know, sometimes when you have so much mental chatter, like, look, I listen to rap music all the time. Okay, I do like some of the rap music now, but it ain't nothing like Dr. Dre or Tupac, like Snoop Dogg, and it those are like, that's my favorite. That's my shit. But anywho, I've had Coolio's Gangster Paradise in my head for like 2 days. I mean, I woke up at like 3 o'clock this morning with Gangster's Paradise going on in my brain. And I thought, and then when I woke up this morning at 7 o'clock, same thing. And I thought, I've got to get out of this song. So how can I get out of this song? Well, turn some different music on. So like that will help. Or if you just have, like the book said, like so much mental chatter, put on some music that doesn't have words. Okay, so on Pandora, there's a station called Pretty Lights. There's also, which I love Pretty Lights. So some of it does have words, but listen to that. Like I said, Deepak Chopra and those sounds. And then also there's Loud Pack and Gladiator on Pandora. I think Loud Pack and Gladiator is like two people that do like electronic music. So if you like that type of music, that's on there. And just listen, put stuff on that will really help you to calm. Because when you can calm and relax, you allow everything that you're asking for to come forward. You're making the room and giving it the space it needs to enter. So try that. Let me know what you think. And hopefully I'll see you guys sooner than later. Alright, so take care and namaste.